Hello, this is Cameron from Impulsonic, and today I'll be showing you how to create a simple scene in Unity. The scene is going to be comprised of a surface, also known as a plane. Then we're going to make a four-sided building and place it on top of the plane, and then we're going to put an audio source inside of the building. So once you're ready, just have your Unity project open like so. And the first step we're going to take here is actually just remove this main camera, as we just don't need it quite yet. So right-click it in the hierarchy, then select delete. Okay. And then the first object we're going to add is the plane. And we're going to right-click here in the hierarchy, select 3D object, and then plane. And there's our plane. And if we wanted to make this plane a little bit bigger, we would select the plane here in the hierarchy, and then inspector, go under transform, and then look at scale. And we'll set this to be 5 by 5. And you'll notice we didn't mess with the Y value because we're not going to be able to go vertically with this object. Okay. Now we can start making the building. And to do this, we're going to right-click in the hierarchy. We're going to select 3D object and then cube. And then our cube will appear here in the middle. And for some reason it's nested inside of the plane, so we rescue it by grabbing this green arrow, dragging it up a little bit. And now we can turn this cube into a wall. So how do we do that? We select the cube, and then under transform again, go to scale, and this time we're going to set the X, Y, and Z values. And we can set the thickness to be 0.5 by 10, 10, and 10 width. Okay, and there's our first wall. Now if we want to quickly make other walls instead of having to do that process over and over again, we can actually just right click on the cube and click duplicate. And now a second wall has appeared, but we don't see it in the editor. So if we want to make sure it's there, we can just grab one of these arrows and another wall is there, like so. Let's add a third wall. Drag it out. And this time we want this wall to be the back of this building, so between these two walls right here. So we need to rotate this wall right here, the one that's currently highlighted. So with the appropriate wall highlighted, in the inspector tab we're going to go to rotation, and we're going to rotate this 90 degrees on its y-axis, like so. But you notice the perspective is not very good. It's kind of hard to see. And you notice that your middle mouse wheel allows you to zoom in and out really quickly, but doesn't allow for a lot of movement. You can also hold down your right mouse button and move the mouse around, but the camera stays stationary. If you want a little bit more flexibility, you can use your WASD keys while you hold down the right mouse button, like so, to move your camera around. But it still doesn't give you the right perspective. So if we want to get a top-down view and move this wall so it's the back here, we can click on this Y button right here. And that'll take us to a top-down view. And we can still use this right mouse button. We can use WASD, but it doesn't really give us a lot of control, a good perspective here. So what we can do is hold down the mouse button in the middle and drag it down and up, like so. Okay, I think that's good. So let's move this wall into place. Okay. Now if we want to go back to the other perspective we were in, we can just double click the cube like that, and you notice we'll kind of zoom in a little bit. Okay. I see what happened. We need to raise these up a little bit. Like so. Okay, and that is a three-sided building, so we need to create a fourth wall. So let's duplicate another one. And we want this one to be our ceiling. So what we're going to do is rotate it on its z-axis. So with it selected, in the Inspector tab, under Rotation, go to Z and rotate it 90 degrees. And I'll raise it up. And this perspective isn't totally great, so what we can do is, much like we did with the Y button up here, we can click this X-axis here, and that puts us in a slightly better position. And we can use our middle mouse button to kind of give us a little bit better view. We can just drag it over. And you'll see it's not exactly touching, so let's lower it down a little bit. Okay, and there's our roof. Now we need to add a audio source. So to do this, we're going to right-click in the hierarchy again, select 3D object, and for the intent of this tutorial, we're just going to add a sphere and then attach an audio source just so we can have a visual audio source. So let's select sphere, and there's our sphere. And let's attach an audio source to it. So with the sphere selected in the Hierarchy tab, in Inspector we're going to click Add Component, and a search window will appear. It should look something like this, and you can either click Audio and then add an audio source that way, or if you want to be really quick, you can actually just type in Audio, and it'll just list all the audio components for you. So we want audio source, and now we have an audio source attached. Now if we want an actual sound clip to play from this audio source, we need to click on this little circular button here. A select audio clip window will appear, but there isn't any sound clips in here. So we need to manually add one to the assets folder of our Unity project. So it's very simple. Open up a File Explorer window, find an audio clip that you like, just copy it, then go to your Unity project folder, then go to Assets, and then just paste it. Done. Now go back to your Unity project. Now when you click on the circular button, you'll see the audio clip. So just click it once, and it gets added. It gets added, sorry. So the next step is then we need to add a first-person character. And the first-person character is what allows us to actually walk around and see things and hear things inside of the scene. So to do that, it's very simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Assets, Import Package, and then Characters. Another import window will appear. Go ahead and click All to be safe, and then Import. Just give it a few seconds. All right, so after the import process is done, go ahead and click on the Project tab here if you haven't already. Go to All Prefabs under Favorites, and you'll see some prefabs here. The one we're looking for is the FPS controller. Now, if you don't have this favorite menu here, by the way, you can go under Standard Assets, Characters, First Person Character, Prefabs, and then grab the FPS controller that way too. And you just drag it and drop it into the scene. And again, it'll be stuck inside of the plane, so just rescue it by need a better perspective here. Grab the green arrow. There we go. All right. So now we will be able to walk around, hear things, and see things in the scene. So let's go ahead and try that. Okay, when you're done, just hit the escape key. Your cursor will appear. Then hit the play button. And that'll stop the scene. Okay, and once you're done and you feel comfortable with this, you can save the scene by hitting Control S. And it'll ask you where you'd like to save your scene. You can save it inside of your Unity project asset folder. And we'll call this one test. And we're done. So that's going to do it for this tutorial. If you have any other questions, please contact us at support@impulsonic.com. And thank you for watching.